As we start a new year, I thought it would be fun to look at how hiking has changed since my father first brought me out on the trail in 1969. First and most obviously, technology has changed. Not just hiking specific technology, but the general technology we use day to day like cell phones and the internet. In 1969, we had a AAA road map and that dotted line. We'd even had trouble finding where the trail actually crossed roads. When we were done, we had to find a payphone and place a collect call to my mother, telling her that we were ready to be picked up at the pre-appointed place, if not somewhere else. We didn't have battery packs because we didn't have any electronics that needed it. Cameras used film. You'd have 12 or 24 photos to take and you wanted everyone to count. You never knew if they were any good until weeks later when they got developed. Of course, now we can take hundreds of photos on our phone and just delete the ones that we don't want. Now we can even pinpoint our location on an electronic map with fair precision and determine where the next water supply or campsite is. On a recent trip, I was able to reserve a hotel room, buy a train ticket, and arrange a shuttle ride from the trail to the hotel, all while sitting at a shelter 10 miles from the pickup point. Hiking equipment like lightweight backpacks, tents, sleeping bags, stoves, and water filters are part of this new technology. We had external frame, very heavy backpacks and heavy wool sleeping bags, but not always tents. We sometimes chanced sleeping out under the stars and hoped the weather reports were accurate. Now we have lightweight packs. We can get up to the minute forecasts, if not on our phones, through satellite trackers. Lightweight options are widely available. My 7.5-pound tent has been replaced with one that weighs 1.5 pounds. That's about an 80% reduction in weight. I now carry more function and convenience in 17 pounds of equipment than I had with 45 pounds back then. We didn't have headlamps. We brought flashlights that took 4 D-cell batteries to operate. Another change is in the popularity of hiking. This chart shows the number of 2,000-mile completions recorded by the Appalachian Trail Conservancy for each year from 1960 through 2023. A 2,000-mile completion is based on a statement from a hiker that they completed the entirety of the Appalachian Trail over time, ending in a year recorded, whether by way of thru-hike or a series of section hikes over many years as I did before I finished in 2024. I use this data because it's the most complete I can find. The numbers don't matter as much as the trend. We can see in the early 60s only a handful of completions were reported each year. Over time, hiking became more popular, at least on the Appalachian Trail. We see that the trend was occasionally pushed along by mass media events such as National Geographic publications and documentaries and Bill Bryson's A Walk in the Woods book and subsequent movie. We see an exponential curve starting in the 1960s and continuing for the next 60 years. Now, many curves of this sort turn out to be sigmoid curves. These are S-shaped curves where there's growth when things are small, but eventually saturation is reached. Most of the interested people are participating by then and growth slows down. Then, of course, the COVID-19 pandemic put a damper on things for a couple of years. The point for us is that there's been a large increase in the number of hikers on the trail, which leads to two things: seasonal crowding and a general decrease in the average capability of the hikers on the trail. Now, I'm not knocking the hikers. This is just a consequence of hiking having lower barriers to entry. In the 60s, long-distance hiking was limited to the very hardcore and well-prepared. Now, anyone can attempt a thru-hike. The next change, that of logistics and services, makes it more possible to succeed at that. In the United States, on the Appalachian Trail, hostels, shuttles, hiker resupply services, phone apps such as Far Out and All Trails, and satellite trackers make a long hike logistically easier than ever before. It's now physical issues such as illness, injury, or just plain conditioning and sometimes budgetary limits that force people off the trail, not a lack of being able to deal with the logistics. Trail angels, while a bit hit or miss, provide extra much appreciated assistance. There were stretches in Maine where trail angels got me through some tough spots. Before I go on, I need to ask for your help in keeping this channel up and running, and the best part is it's absolutely free. I want to raise 50 video ideas for the upcoming year. All you need to do to help is to leave a comment with the phrase video suggestion and a sentence about what you found important as an older hiker, whether it has to do with planning, equipment choices, or something else. While I don't review brands, I will review general gear choices such as the different types of portable shelters. Thanks for indulging me. Now back to our video. 60 years ago, the method of choice for cooking was over open fires. That took a lot of time and was dirty and smoky. On my first ever solo lash, I brought a small aluminum grate, literally just something that I could build a fire under and place a pot on. Now that's not even allowed in many areas. In the Grand Canyon and the John Muir Trail, for example, open fires are restricted. Even solid fuel hexamine stoves are considered open flames and technically can't be used. Other types of stoves, cold soaking or eating cold food, are necessary in these areas. Cooking is easier than ever with these stoves. The fifth change is water treatment. In the 60s, we never even thought about water purification. By the late 70s, we had advanced to the point where we'd feel uneasy about it, but we still didn't filter the water. The first case of Giardia was detected in Colorado in 1970, however. Have water sources become more polluted over the years? Well, that's part of it, though in the deep backcountry, the source of pollution is more likely other hikers. Remember those usage statistics I showed earlier? With 2 or 3 orders of magnitude more hikers out there, the possibility of human-transmitted diseases through tainted water sources goes up proportionally. I cover water treatment in this video. Another change is in the control of human waste. Back then, if outhouses were available at all, they were pit toilets. It was an act of desperation to use them. In areas like the east coast of the United States, where moldering prairies are now often in place, it's much more sanitary. When properly cared for and not abused by hikers, they're environmentally safer. Still, in places like the western United States backcountry areas, digging and properly using cat hose is a necessary skill, as is using wag bags. Again, the orders of magnitude increase in hiker traffic puts a strain on the environment. This is at least part of the reason why limited permits are available for hiking in those areas. On the Appalachian Trail, very few areas require permits, and even those are generally less limited, used more for tracking and statistics than for control. These are the main changes I've seen. They all act together to change the backpacking experience considerably. Is it better, or is it just different? We each need to decide that for ourselves. If you can think of other changes, please leave your thoughts in a comment. If you found this interesting, please like, share, subscribe, and comment. And if you haven't seen this video, I recommend you take a look at it now. Thanks for watching.